how is it that Republican presidential and congressional candidates can say things that sound completely irrational to you and me, and yet those things have deep, deep meaning to the people that they really intend to hear those things, which are the people who are the dupes, shall we say. You know, I've said many times, the Republican Party basically has three levels of people in it. It has the very, very small group of billionaires whom it serves, billionaires and transnational corporate CEOs. Everything that the Republican Party does is for them, even when it's like fighting gay marriage. I mean, it's doing it for the billionaires because it lets the rubes or the dupes think that they're fighting for something and doing something when, in fact, the agenda of the billionaires is just to steal more of their money. So anyhow, you've got the billionaires, and then you've got, or at least the conservative billionaires, and then you've got the well-paid shills for the billionaires. There's an entire industry to this. And you can do very well in this industry, whether it's conservative talk radio or whether it's conservative television. And there are now 3 conservative television networks. There's Fox, there's Newsmax, and now there's News One or Nation One or something. And 4. Glenn Beck's got a conservative network. And, and then there's the conservative, the punditocracy, the Ann Coulters and all that kind of thing. How is it that they know what politicians are talking about when politicians say things that don't seem to make any sense? For example, how is it that when Jeb Bush was on Stephen Colbert's new show yesterday, I'm guessing you saw it or heard at least about it, the fact that, the David Letterman's late show is now Stephen Colbert's, and last night was the first night, and Jeb Bush was on. And it was interesting because Colbert asked him a couple of policy questions and really gave him an opportunity to give specific answers, and he chose not to. Jeb Bush chose to speak purely in bumper stickers. And, we want smaller government and all that kind of stuff. And as I recall, he made some sort of a fleeting reference to, the out-of-control executive. He's not quite so bad on this. This is the sort of thing that Ted Cruz and these guys, they have made a business out of, is saying, Barack Obama, he's a power-grabbing, power-hungry dictator. Well, here's why they say things like this. Now, first of all, let me give you the facts so that you know what's actually going on, okay? With regard to presidential pardons, the actual number of presidential pardons issued, George Washington issued 8 of them. And then, it's in the below 100 up till Ulysses S. Grant. He issued 217. Teddy Roosevelt issued over 1,000, 1,081. Warren Harding, 522. Calvin Coolidge, Silent Cal, 1,200 executive orders. Herbert Hoover, 968. Franklin Roosevelt, 3,700 executive orders. Harry Truman, 900. And then we get up to the modern era. Richard Nixon, 346. Jerry Ford, 169. Jimmy Carter, 320. Ronald Reagan, 381, which beats Barack Obama's 216. George W. Bush had 291. He beats Barack Obama. Bill Clinton, 364. That beats Obama. So, every 2-term president, basically in the modern era, has issued more executive orders than Obama. So here's this viral email that I got a copy of this morning in my email from some poor sucker. I'm serious. Some poor sucker out there who CC'd me and Bill O'Reilly and Greta Van Susteren and Michael Medved and Sean Hannity and Rachel Maddow. Oh, man. It says, what the hell happened to the Constitution? At the bottom, it gives you a gov.org website. Really? Where EOs may be checked. For the shock of your life, take 1 minute to comprehend what you read below. During our lifetimes, all presidents have issued executive orders. For various reasons, some have issued more. These things will directly affect us all in years to come. Question is, do you care enough to send this shocking information to people you love? And this is Ike, 2 in 8 years. Well, it's simply not true. Eisenhower issued a lot more than 2 executive orders. In fact, let me get back to that page. Eisenhower It's another article. Anyhow, Eisenhower issued a bunch of them. What did I do with it? Oh, it's this one right here? Oh, yeah, here it is. Thank you. Eisenhower was 484. Okay. Kennedy, 4 in 3 years. No, actually, Kennedy, 214. LBJ, 4 in 5 years. No, Lyndon Johnson was 325. Ford, 3 in 2 years. No, Ford was 169. Carter, anyhow, they go through this, and then they get to Obama. It says George W. Bush, 62 in 8 years. No, actually, it was 291. And then it says Obama, 932 in 3.5 years, more than 1,000 and counting executive orders in 6 years. No, he's only 216. And then they go through, please read some of them below. Unbelievable. Next step, dictatorship. I don't know if you get the implications. If you don't get the implications, you're not paying attention. How come all the other presidents of the past 100 years have found it not necessary to increase the government's power over the people with more than 1,000 executive orders? This is really scary. And most Americans have absolutely no idea it's happening. Well, of course, that's because it's not happening. Even some Democrats in the House have turned on him. Yes, there's a reason that this president is determined to take control away from the House and Senate. And then they go through the executive orders. Executive Order 10990 allows the government to take over all modes of transportation and control of highways and seaports. Uh-oh. Executive Order 10995 allows the government to seize control of communication media. And they go through this list of executive orders. Well, it turns out every single one of these executive orders was issued by Jack Kennedy, Lyndon Johnson, or Jerry Ford. Seriously, I mean, this is like a recycled old John Birch Society thing from the 1960s. It's total BS. And yet, the way it's presented, people read it and they go, holy cow, this Obama guy, he has just taken control of the government. He has far exceeded his authority. Look at this, over 1,000 executive orders, and nobody else even issued more than 6 or 8 of them, which, of course, is a lie. It's not true. But Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, Mike Huckster, all of these guys, they know that the average Republican dupe has probably gotten this email. And so, and maybe doesn't believe it, and maybe is just wondering, is it possible? Could it be? I don't know. Is it, and then Mike Hucksterby comes along and says, this president sees so much power, it's like Hitler. Or Ted Cruz said, or any of the Republicans. John Boehner says it. And what happens is that all of the Republicans who have been now the dupes, the on the ground people, the just regular people who end up voting for Republicans. And you can buy the mailing list, by the way, the email list. You can buy it very, very cheap. Different groups compile it in different ways. You can advertise directly to them on Facebook or via Google. You can buy the list from a bunch of different groups. So they're all primed for this. So that when these candidates said, so this is like, and then of course the Fox News guys, they will add to this too. Brian Kilmeade will go, oh yeah, this president has seized so much power. No specifics, but everybody's got that email and they're all going, oh yeah, must be true. Brian Kilmeade wouldn't say it, or Steve Ducey wouldn't say it, or Gretchen, what's her name, wouldn't say it. And Ted Cruz and Rand Paul, they don't even like each other. They're both saying it. It must be true, right? Republicans, it's a lie.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
But tragically, that doesn't seem to matter much to the conservative infrastructure, which is interested in promoting the lie.